question per person, please, so we can get around the room. I'd like to ask the first question. Takers?
This is quick.
Sorry. Yeah, Joy. Just down here.
Aaron, were you surprised by the way England started in the field?
No, not at all. They've done it quite a bit in this tournament. They've got bowlers that hit the seam, and if there's anything in the wicket, that they'll certainly get out of it. Chris Wokes, world-class bowler, puts it in the right area time and time again. Archer, getting better and better as he's starting to play a little bit more international cricket as well. So it definitely wasn't a surprise.
Aaron, now we've seen twice in 2 days, once the top order goes with a lot of teams, that middle order just doesn't seem to be strong enough unless you're England. Has that been a concern that, I don't know, maybe you've kind of overlooked just because of the runs you and David were scoring at the top?
I think for not our middle order today, we would have been in real trouble. We still managed to get 230 odd. I think the way that Steve and Alex formed that partnership and managed to really drag us back into the game after a tough start was really important. I think the way that they managed to soak up pressure and then slowly start to transfer a bit more pressure back onto England before we sort of lost our way again. It was a bit of a frantic start, 3 for in the power play, then a really good partnership, and then a couple of quick wickets again, which always sets you back a little bit. And I think a lot of teams have been in a similar boat. I think most of the time opening the batting's been the easiest place. So not to be today for myself and Dave and Pete there at number 4. It was tough conditions at the start. England bowled very well. We just needed to find a way through that period to really set a platform for the middle overs.
Aaron, where would you say the match was won and lost today? Was it because of the way you started with the battle? Would you say it was because of how Jason and Johnny set the tone for England up top?
Oh, definitely in the first 10 overs of the game. We know that they're going to come really aggressive at us with the bat, so we had to be aggressive with the ball. We had to take or create 10 chances and take them as well. So it wasn't going to be a game, especially against England, it wasn't going to be a game that peters out into the 47th, 48th over. It was going to be an ultra aggressive, and they got on top of us early with the bat. But the damage was really done with the ball. That set you back. That forced us to rebuild for such a long time and start to drag some momentum back. And then, like I said, you lose a couple of quick wickets again, new batters starting. It's always tough against really good leg spin and good quicks as well. So, I'd say at the start, but all in all, we were just totally outplayed, to be honest, all throughout the day. So you look back at that and you can analyse each 10 overs, but just outplayed.
Arun, how disappointed you are, because Aussies have a very good record in the semi-final. 7 times they qualified for the semi-final and they reached the final. This time they were quite disappointed. How disappointed you are?
Yeah, very disappointed. We came here today expecting to win. We felt like our preparation leading in to the tournament, and then the momentum we'd build up throughout the tournament was really important, and we came here feeling good. We'd trained well, we'd had enough break in between games, and guys were fresh enough. So it was, very disappointing.
Aaron, from what you've seen of England at this World Cup and obviously today, do you think they'll go on and win it now?
It'll be a hell of a game. 2 teams that New Zealand, we know that they fight and scrap for every run. They're dynamic in the field. They're a team that are never out of the contest. England play a high energy, higher risk game probably than New Zealand. So I think it'll be a great game.
Aaron, Glenn Maxwell was identified by you guys as someone at the start of the tournament that could, I guess, win your games. He probably hasn't done that. Like, what have you made of his tournament overall?
Yeah, I thought he started off really well and got us into some really good positions with even the game against India, where he started to build some real momentum. But again, probably a few starts here and there, and probably not like he has done in the past, gone on and got that really match winning contribution where he takes games away from opposition so quick. But with the ball, I know he didn't get any wickets, but he was reasonably economical when he bowled and did that in some really tough places. So, yeah, I know that he's disappointed. International cricket's very hard.
Aaron, obviously there was a bit of talk during the week about whether Glenn would play today. Can you tell us, was that close to not happening? And how many different options did you guys run through as far as your 11 goes getting closer to the match?
Yeah, you weigh up every possible 11, whatever you think's the strongest 11 to win the game, matching up to England. Also, what's in your best interest in terms of your strengths and stuff like that. So you put dozens of teams up, dozens of combinations, and that happens every game. You throw enough stuff in the air. But we were really confident to back Maxi in for the game. He was, like I said yesterday, he's such a dynamic player that, and brings three skill sets to the table that are really hard to ignore at times as a player, and we've seen how damaging and how much of a match winner he can be in the past, and we saw in the last World Cup the impact that he had in big games. So it just wasn't to be today, and it's not just that, it was our senior guys, myself, Davey, we didn't get going, Starkey didn't get going, Paddy Cummins, guys that you expect to stand up in big games, we were just outplayed.
Aaron, over here. Jason Roy's been tipped for a possible top order place in the Ashes series that's coming up. As an Australian, would you be glad not to see him play in that series, given how he performed today?
Oh, he definitely goes hard. Having played with him for a few years now for Surrey, he's a player that when he's on, he can be so damaging to an opposition in such quick time as well. So, not sure what the wicket's going to be like in the Ashes series. I think the first Test series, is that right? So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But he's got some really good hundreds in county cricket. Probably more so in the middle order. That's just one of those things that if he gets going on his day, he can be brutal and he scores so quick in all forms of the game that it's a very dangerous threat, no doubt.
Just considering where you were 12 months ago as a team and getting to a semi-final, is that a reflection as a success or a failure? And how much was Uzi Khawaja missed today?
Oh, Usman was missed a lot, no doubt. He's a world-class player. He started to get some really good runs and real good momentum into this back half of the tournament. So that was really stiff when he did his hamstring there. In terms of where we were 12 months ago, obviously I think that we've made a huge amount of progress. Really proud of everyone involved for how much hard work and how far we have come. But at the same time, we came here today to win a semi-final and get ourselves into a position to win another World Cup. So that was really disappointing how it ended, especially to put up probably one of our worst performances overall for the tournament. So that was really disappointing, but really proud of where we have come from and the gains that a lot of players have made over the last 12 months in particular.
Hi Eric, can I just ask about Alex Carey? How is he? What actually happened, and how much of bottle did it take for him to carry on?
Yeah, he's tough. He's very tough. I think the grill got pushed back into his. The ball got pushed back through the grill. He had 7 or 8 stitches in his jaw there, and he was a bit sore on the other side. But apparently, he looks all clear for any clinical test for fracture or anything like that. So he's very tough. It'd take a bit more than that to get him out of a game, and he did a fantastic job today as well. He was a part of a really good partnership with Steve there to get us to a half competitive total.
Aaron, what did you make of the atmosphere here today? Did it have any sort of detrimental effect on you guys, and is it something that maybe Australia have got to be a bit more mindful of in the rest of the summer?
No, I think you always expect that when you turn up here. The Hollies out there are always loud. It's a great place to play cricket. I know it sounds a bit stupid after we've just lost and we don't have a great record here, but it is a great place to play. The atmosphere, they appreciate good cricket as well as obviously supporting England heavily, but they do appreciate good cricket. So it's great fun playing here. It's no doubt throughout the Ashes series it's going to be loud as well wherever you go.
Last couple, Sam.
Aaron, we saw England 4 years ago after they got knocked out of the World Cup sort of strip everything back and spend 4 years building. Do you think that's now the template? Would that be a strategy that you guys look at to say, right, a clean slate and it'll all be about 2023?
Oh, I think that after a World Cup, you always start looking and you have one eye towards the next one. I think that you, as a management, senior players, I'm sure that over the next... I'm not sure when our next one day is, to be fair. Over the next couple of months or so, we'll sit down and start talking about that and start planning how we think that we can best plan and prepare and improve over the next 4 years to get us to go 2 steps further. I think that every team would do that. You start looking at what you can improve most, areas that you can identify that you need some work to be done, and that'll happen, no doubt. That happens naturally with players when you're talking about the game and trying to find ways to improve. But as a coaching staff, as a management, that'll be really important as well, that everyone gets on the same page and everyone pulls in the same direction, which is what we've done. We've been really lucky. Everyone's bought into the way that we've played, and it's unfortunate we've just come up short.
Last question.
I know it's a different format and there'll be different personnel, but given the heavy defeat today and the first test is here at Edgbaston, do England have a psychological edge now going into that match?
No, I don't think so. I think with different players, there'll be a high turnover of players, I'd imagine. In terms of the squad, I think there's going to be 16 picked for the Ashes, so there'll be maybe not a high, half players maybe turned over. So I don't think that the guys carry too much baggage when you're going between formats. I think if we rolled up and played a one-day tomorrow, there might be a few scars there, but in terms of the test, I don't think so.
Thanks,
Cheers, guys.
through to the World Cup final. How does that sound? How do you feel?
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool and it feels pretty good. I think the performance in the last 3 games, I think we've got better and better as a group. We talked before the tournament that we would have to do that in order to get to semi-final and final and actually be contenders. So I think today was, I suppose, a step further in the performance, and adding on the 2 that we've built on already. I think it was important that we did that.
You said you wanted to play with smiles on your faces and embrace the moment. Did you do that?
Oh, I think we did, absolutely. Everybody out there on the field and even in the change room loved every ball that was bowled. There was no lack of commitment, application, and we had a bit of a day out, which is it's cool when it happens like that, particularly when the bowlers bowl like that. It's awesome.
A year ago to the day, England were locked out the semi-final of the Football World Cup. Is it coming home?
Wouldn't get too carried away yet. It's obviously a very exciting time for everybody, and ourselves included. I think giving ourselves the opportunity for Sunday's final is brilliant. We'll be giving it everything we can in order to try and win that game.
And just finally for me, Jason Roy, obviously very disappointed with his dismissal. Is there any danger that he could be banned for the final?
I doubt it. I actually didn't see exactly what happened. I was on the toilet, ironically. So I've heard what happened, but I can't imagine it would be. No.
We'll go to our left.
Owen, it's unlikely that you would have had to endure any of these horror movie semi-final defeats that everybody talks about in England in the 90s and the 2000s. So do you understand this whole apprehension and cynicism around England about knockout games at all?
I think we're quite cynical people who never quite give people credit when it's due. There's always a different side to it. We grow up around it, it's the way we are, and we sometimes enjoy it too much. I think us as a team, we've learned to enjoy ourselves, particularly days like this, even if they don't go well. You know, if you'd offered us the position to play in a final the day after we were knocked out of the 2015 World Cup, I'd have laughed at you.
We've got Dean at the back and then Will at the front here.
In 4 years of planning and preparation, you've had some great moments along the way, but do you feel as though you kind of saved the best for the game that was the most important, that was your most complete performance of the 4 years?
I think close to. I think particularly the bowling unit. When you perform like that, you continue to take wickets along with a little bit of luck, but we were quite persistent in the lengths that we bowled, stuck to our plans managed to work even when Smith and Carey started to dominate and grow in the partnership that they did. We found something, an opportunity. We didn't drop a catch on Adil, which is great. Allowed him to build momentum and build confidence, and he bowled brilliantly.
Will, on the right.
Is that the blueprint for how you'd like your team to sort of embrace Sunday? I mean, you lost the toss, but came out and really flew out the blocks and looked like you enjoyed yourself all day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Sunday's not a day to shy away from. It's a day to look forward to, much like today. We've created the opportunity to play in a World Cup final. It'll be a matter of the same. Again, trying to produce everything that we can performance-wise, but enjoy the day.
Owen, did Johnny pick up an injury when he was batting, and if so, what was it and how bad is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was, but he seemed to move all right after it. So it's not very concerning. I don't think it might be a niggle. We don't know, obviously, until he be scanned. But after it, he seemed to move well. So it's a good sign.
Owen, was that the best Adil's bowled in this tournament? And why do you think he hasn't quite had the wickets that we might have expected so far?
Yeah, I thought he bowled well against Pakistan up to a period, probably the period where the catch was dropped. That obviously gets you down a little bit as a bowling unit. I don't think we fielded well and supported him within the group. And today I thought we did really well. The pitch offered a little bit, but his variation I thought was brilliant.
Right, the final's going to be on free-to-air TV. The whole nation's going to be behind you at last. It feels like. How exciting is that as a personally and as a team?
Very cool, particularly given 2005 Ashes for me was sort of the day cricket became cool. Throughout the whole summer, the day was on the front and back page of every newspaper going around. Everybody was talking about it, and that is really good for the game. and it's the game I love. So it's great news that it's on free to air.
On Adelaide 2015 and now Edgbaston 2019, could you please talk about this turnaround, or I should rather say the renaissance in English white ball cricket in these 4 years, for you as a captain personally and as a team?
Yeah, it's been in process for the last 4 years. In 2015, we were way off the mark. We struggled against the top teams and actually the teams that sat below that. So there was quite a drastic change in the way that we played and the way that we looked at playing our 50-over cricket. That has worked out extremely well for us, and given the support that we've had throughout the ECB, the backroom staff, as players, we've taken that, I suppose, as far as we can so far.
I mean, television cameras appear to show that in the England dressing room there was a large board with sort of signatures and messages. Were they personalised? Would you be able to talk us through those?
Yeah, so it's quite, I'm trying to think when it was. Before the Pakistan series, myself and the head coach went into the ECB offices and did a live stream Q&A with sort of an internal one with all the ECB staff, either watching online or in a room at one of the Lord's stands. It was an opportunity for us to launch a marketing campaign, answer questions, but also unite us a little bit. 50-over cricket has always taken a back seat to T20 cricket and particularly Test match cricket. So involving everybody, making sure they appreciate the work that they do behind the scenes is extremely important for us, because particularly the social media stuff and all the online stuff, the guys absolutely love it, particularly the young guys. So we launched the Express Yourself campaign that day, and it went really well. So they gave us the big cardboard cutout of Express Yourself. We signed it, absolutely everybody signed it, and then basically said thank you in their messages and sent a picture, and that will be going back to the ECB offices at the end of the tournament.
So it's like a thank you from you and the team to the ECB?
Absolutely, yeah.
Julian.
Yeah. Owen, did you have a chance to see any of New Zealand's win over India? What are you expecting from them on Sunday?
Yeah, I did. I watched actually most of it right up until I suppose we trained yesterday. A great game of cricket. I thought India were completely done and dusted after the early wickets that New Zealand took. They bowled extremely well and took their opportunities. I think New Zealand throughout the whole tournament have been probably the hardest side to beat and the best side in the group stages. I think their performance in the semi-final was probably their best. They're going to be a very difficult side to beat on Sunday. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Stefan, we'll take a few more. Stefan here.
Hi, you talked about how good it is that the final's going to be on free-to-air television. Is there an awareness from you and the team that what you've done today and what you might do on Sunday is bigger for the game in this country than just you lifting the World Cup?
I don't think there will be an understanding of that until probably after the tournament, and even then it'll take some time. You know, when guys go home in various pockets during the tournament, they sort of get a glimpse of it, maybe being recognised more than they would. I think that's probably going to step up quite a lot when guys go home at the end of the tournament.
How important was it to stay calm after that loss to Australia earlier in the tournament to sort of keep the confidence there? And I suppose, like, was there anything that you picked up from that game specifically in terms of how to beat them, plans for bowlers or batsmen or anything like that?
Not really. We know each other inside out as a team. I think highlighting the underriding factor that we were carrying something around, and it was from the previous game against Sri Lanka, and to get rid of any baggage that we might have been carried into that game. I thought the Australia game at Lords, we underperformed and weren't good enough. That can happen on any given day. That's performance related. I think the way we played against Sri Lanka wasn't naturally performance related. It was actually due to our application and our attitude.
Two more, Rory in the corner, and then gentleman here at the front.
Owen, have the boys earned a beer tonight, or with the turnaround, have you had to put them on ice?
No, they've definitely earned a beer or a glass of wine. Definitely.
Last one here at the front. Wait for the mic.
the way you guys thrashed Nathan Lyon and Mitchell Stark, does that give you sort of special satisfaction considering they're top class bowlers who have troubled your team and possibly every team in the world in the past?
They're a very strong side with a lot of top class bowlers. Obviously Stark's had a very good tournament and Nathan Lyon's an exceptional test match bowler that can have a good day any day. I think the way that we took advantage of conditions, we batted well on a very good batting wicket, suited us, and we can have bad days where it doesn't come off, but we stuck to the way we play, and that was satisfying.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Guys, we're going to turn this around for Mix Zone now, so if everybody could head back into the press box for a few minutes, we'll get the room turned and we'll give you a shout when Mix Zone is all set.